The moment you hand over your iPhone at a traffic stop, most drivers think their locked screen protects them. There are 5 default settings law enforcement exploits without cracking your passcode, and the most dangerous operates remotely. Through tactical analysis of over 200 police encounters and leaked forensic tool capabilities, I've identified the exact vulnerability pattern. Officer never touches your phone. 1 warrant to Apple. Complete digital life exposed. I'm going to show you 5 settings law enforcement praise you never discover, ranked from most to least dangerous. Setting number 1 is the warrant loophole. Your iPhone uses iCloud backup by default. That backup gets encrypted, but Apple holds the keys. In first half of 2024, Apple received over 12,000 U.S. data requests and complied with 85%. Your phone can have the strongest passcode. Doesn't matter. Officer writes warrant to Apple for your iCloud data. Apple hands over messages, photos, notes, call logs, complete backup. You might not know for weeks. Why this works is advanced data protection wasn't enabled during setup. It's optional. Most never heard of it. Default means encryption keys sit on Apple's servers. Warrants access those servers directly. Officers don't need your cooperation or passcode. They need a judge to sign warrant to Apple. Your digital life becomes evidence. Training manuals confirm this as standard procedure. Your counter move is enable advanced data protection now. Settings, tap your name, tap iCloud, scroll to advanced data protection, turn it on. This moves encryption keys from Apple's servers to your devices only. 25 categories become end-to-end encrypted. Apple no longer has keys. Warrants to Apple get nothing. They can't decrypt what they can't access. You control the only keys. You must set up recovery contact or recovery key first. If you lose account access, Apple cannot help recover it. Maximum security means maximum responsibility. Default iCloud backup equals warrant accessible data. Advanced data protection equals warrant-proof encryption. Now you've shut down the remote access threat. But here's what catches most people. That only protects data stored in iCloud. What about the data physically visible on your phone right now? Because officers don't just go after your cloud backup, they exploit something far more immediate, something that happens in the first 30 seconds of a traffic stop. And it requires zero technical knowledge, just human psychology. Setting number 2 is the reflex trap. Lock screen notifications betray you with one glance. Officer approaches during a traffic stop. Your phone is visible, maybe passenger seat, cup holder. Officer picks it up, not to search it, just holds it up and asks, "Is this your phone?" You look. That's it. That one glance triggers Face ID. Lock screen notifications instantly expand to show full message previews. Text from your lawyer about the stop? Visible. Calendar event for your court date? Visible. Location-based weather widget showing you were nowhere near where you claimed? Visible. This is psychological manipulation at the tactical level. Officers are trained that most people reflexively look when someone holds their phone up. It's human nature. You can't help it. And that glance is all Face ID needs. Live exchange goes like this. Officer says, "Is this your phone? I need to verify ownership." You glance at it to answer. Face ID unlocks notification previews. Officer now sees your messages preview says, "Don't say anything without a lawyer." Your calendar widget shows probation appointment tomorrow. Your delivery tracking widget shows the address you just claimed you've never been to. All visible. No passcode required. No consent needed. One glance. Why this works tactically is because Face ID's attention awareness feature expands notifications the moment it detects you're looking at the screen. It's designed for convenience. Officer holds phone at eye level, you look. Technology does the rest. Field reality shows this happens constantly. Body cam analysis reveals officers using this exact technique. Hold the phone, ask a question, wait for the glance. It works because it feels innocent. You're just identifying your property. But that identification just gave them evidence. Escalation path if you don't counter this. Officer sees incriminating notification preview. That gives probable cause for further investigation. What started as a routine stop just became a full search based on what your lock screen revealed. The wrong move is leaving notification previews on default settings. Face ID triggers messages show you've handed them evidence. The counter move has 2 parts. First, settings. notifications, show previews, select Never. This prevents message content from appearing even when unlocked. Second settings, Face ID and passcode. Scroll to allow access. When locked, turn off lock screen widgets. Widgets leak location data, calendar appointments, financial information. All gone from the lock screen now. Strategic advantage is you've eliminated the reflex trap entirely. Even if you glance at your phone, notifications remain hidden. Officer sees generic alerts only. No message content, no widget data. Your Fifth Amendment protection stays intact. Tactical summary is this: your glance is a weapon they use against you. Lock screen settings remove that weapon completely. You just protected yourself from the psychological tricks they use at the roadside. But what happens when that's not enough? When they don't ask for consent, when your glance didn't give them anything, and they decide to seize your phone anyway? That's when they bring in the hardware, specialized devices designed for one purpose: crack your phone open by force. And setting number 3 is the vulnerability these tools exploit. Setting number 3 is forensic tool vulnerability. Officers use Celebrite and Gray Key to bypass passcode through USB port. Your iPhone has USB restricted mode. After locked 1 hour, port restricts data connections. Only charging works. Designed to block forensic tools. In February 2025, Apple patched zero-day vulnerability CVE 2025-24200. Exploit allowed attackers to disable USB restricted mode using accessibility features. Vulnerability active, forensic tool plugged in, passcode cracking begins. If disabled, Gray Key systematically tries passcodes. Leaked documents show same-day access to locked iPhones, often under 1 hour, for 6-digit passcodes. For newer iOS, partial access only, but partial means file structure, metadata, unencrypted data. Agencies advised to extract within 72 hours before iOS 18.1 auto-reboot. iPhone reboots into before first unlock state. Everything encrypted. Forensic tools lose effectiveness. After first unlock leaves data in memory unencrypted. That's the window. Phone seized. Officer uses tools within 72 hours. Even partial extraction gives enough. File names, text metadata, call logs, GPS data. Enough to build a case. Wrong move is outdated iOS. Celebrite cracks iOS 16 fully. Gray Key shows partial access for iOS 18.0. iOS 18.1 and beyond, listed as in research, limited capability. Your countermove has 3 parts. Keep iPhone updated to latest iOS. Settings, General, Software Update. Enable automatic updates, single most important action. Verify USB restricted mode active. Settings, Face ID and passcode. Scroll to USB accessories. Ensure grayed out. That's protection. Never connect iPhone to unknown USB devices. In custody, and they ask to plug in phone, state I do not consent to searches or data extraction. Staying updated is massive advantage. iOS updates patch vulnerabilities forensic tools exploit. Outdated iOS equals known exploits. Updated iOS equals research mode for them. Your weapon is the update button. Those 3 settings handle direct attacks on your phone, cloud warrants, physical access, forensic cracking. But there's something most people never consider. Your phone is talking right now. Even locked, even in your pocket, broadcasting signals that law enforcement intercepts without ever touching your device. And most people have no idea it's happening because it feels completely passive. Setting number 4 is about the invisible surveillance you're enabling every second your phone is on. Setting number 4 is broadcasting vulnerability. Your phone broadcasts name, location history, movement patterns over the air. Your iPhone has device name. By default, your actual name plus iPhone. That name broadcasts constantly over Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Near Wi-Fi network, even without connecting. Phone sends probe requests for known networks. Probe requests include previously connected network names. Home router named after street address. You broadcasted it. Workplace Wi-Fi, employment location known. Law enforcement uses passive surveillance tools. Yorkie Pro WIDS detects iPhone 75 to 100 feet away. Fully passive. No warrant needed because you're voluntarily broadcasting. Device name, phone model, network history. All detected without touching phone. Officer pulls you over. Before approaching, scan shows device broadcasting. John's iPhone confirms identity. Wi-Fi probes show county courthouse guest, dispensary Wi-Fi, location you claimed you'd never been, pattern of life map from passive signals, no physical access required. Why this works is never change device name from default. First name plus iPhone seems harmless. It's persistent identifier following you everywhere. Bluetooth sees it. Wi-Fi routers log it. Passive surveillance captures it. Your counter move is 2 changes. Change device name to generic. Settings, general, about, name. Change to simply iPhone or random code. Removes personal identifier. For Wi-Fi privacy. Settings, Wi-Fi, tap network. Enable private Wi-Fi address. In iOS 18, select rotating. Changes phone's Wi-Fi MAC address periodically, preventing tracking. You've eliminated passive identification. Phone no longer announces who you are or where you've been. Wi-Fi tracking impossible. Bluetooth identification fails. Some jurisdictions use license plate readers with Bluetooth sniffing to correlate vehicle movement with phone presence. Rotating MAC address and generic device name break that. If you're broadcasting identity, you're doing their surveillance work. Stop talking. Go silent. You've stopped your phone from talking to the outside world. But here's the final vulnerability that catches people completely off guard. You think your locked phone is secure, passcode protected, Face ID disabled. But there's one feature that bypasses all of that with nothing more than a button press and a question. And it's enabled by default on every iPhone. Setting number 5 is the last piece of the puzzle. Setting number 5 is Siri Lock Screen Access. Officer has physical access to locked iPhone, can't get past passcode, can't force you to provide it, 5th Amendment. But Siri enabled on lock screen by default. Officer presses and holds side button. Siri activates. Officer asks, "Who am I?" Siri responds with name and phone number. No passcode needed. Identity confirmed. Next move, "Hey Siri, call my lawyer." Siri starts call, reveals attorney's name. "Hey Siri, read my last message." Depending on settings, Siri might comply. "Hey Siri, where do I live?" If you set home address, Siri reveals it. All from locked phone. Siri's lock screen, access enabled by default for convenience. Hands-free while driving. Quick commands without unlocking. Apple designed for user benefit. Law enforcement exploits for information gathering. Officer holds locked phone. Presses side button. Says, "Hey Siri, who am I?" Siri announces full name and number. Officer then says, "Call Dad." Siri initiates call, revealing contact. Hangs up, now has family contact info. Each question extracts data. Each command reveals information without unlocking device. This exploit works across iOS versions unless specifically disabled. Security experts documented this repeatedly. Attack requires only physical access and knowledge of Siri commands, particularly tactical because it's invisible. No notification Siri was used. No log questions were asked. Officer gains info, returns phone, you never know what was extracted. Wrong move is leaving Siri accessible from lock screen. Counter move is surgical. Settings, Face ID, and passcode. Allow access when locked section. Toggle Siri off. Done. Siri works when unlocked, but locked phone equals silent phone now. You've closed voice command exploitation route. Riley versus California 2014 established warrants required for phone searches, but courts ruled information visible or accessible from lock screen without authentication is fair game. Siri responses from locked screen fall there. Disabling lock screen, Siri moves information behind warrant protection. If officers have your phone, force restart requiring passcode. Press and hold volume up and side button until phone powers off. Power back on. Face ID and Touch ID, now disabled until passcode entered. They can't force you to provide that. 5th Amendment protections most circuits. Voice commands from locked screens are intelligence leaks. Plug the leak. Now you know 5 settings. But settings alone don't protect without legal framework. Riley versus California 2014. Supreme Court ruled unanimously police need warrant to search phone. Critical point, consent eliminates warrant requirement. If you say yes, Riley doesn't protect anymore. Harris County, Texas shows 53% extractions happened without warrants because suspects consented. Legal reality gets complicated with passcodes. 5th Amendment says you can't be forced to testify against yourself. Courts are split. Indiana, Pennsylvania, Utah ruled forcing passcode violates Fifth Amendment. New Jersey and Massachusetts ruled opposite. Supreme Court hasn't resolved split. Tactically, protection depends on which state. Your rights during police encounter are clear. First, I do not consent to a search of my phone. Must be stated explicitly. Say words clearly. Second, I'm invoking my right to remain silent. Ends all questioning. Davis versus United States says state unambiguously. Third, I want to speak with an attorney. Terminates interrogation, works before arrest. Fourth, I do not consent to searches. Repeat anytime they ask. Schneckloth versus Bustamante ruled police don't have to tell. You can refuse. They keep asking. You keep refusing. Critical edition. For everyone's safety, I'm recording this interaction as well. Legal in public encounters nearly every state. Your recording plus their body cam creates dual documentation. Knowing these rights means you control legal battlefield. Officers trained to gain consent because easier than warrants. Your counter is same 4 phrases deployed consistently. You've got legal framework. Now tactical action plan to implement settings before traffic stop. 5-minute security setup. Priority 1, most critical. Advanced data protection stops warrant loophole. Settings, tap your name, tap iCloud, scroll, tap advanced data protection, tap turn on. You'll be guided to set up recovery contact or recovery key. Mandatory, pick someone you trust or create recovery key and store somewhere secure. Once enabled, 25 data categories get end-to-end encrypted with keys only you control. iCloud backup, photos, notes locked down. Apple can't access even with warrant. Priority 2 addresses reflex, trap, and lock screen leaks. Settings, notifications, show previews, select never. Settings, Face ID and passcode. Allow access when locked, toggle off lock screen widgets. Calendar, weather, package tracking all hidden. Same menu, toggle off Siri. 3 toggles, 30 seconds. Priority 3 covers remaining vulnerabilities. Settings, general software update. Update available, install immediately. Settings, general about, name. Change from actual name to generic like iPhone or random code. Settings, Wi-Fi, tap network, toggle private Wi-Fi address. Select rotating if iOS 18 or later. MAC address changes periodically. Finally, verify USB restricted mode. Settings, Face ID and passcode, USB accessories, confirm grayed out. Protecting USB port from forensic devices, state-specific variation. Stop and identify laws like Texas. Must provide name but not unlock phone. States without those laws, not required identify unless arrested. Marijuana odor probable cause. Colorado and Maryland ruled smell alone doesn't justify searches. Texas and Ohio still allow it. Keep composure throughout. As important as settings. Be polite, not talkative. Cooperation does not equal conversation. Calm delivery of constitutional protections matters tactically. Stay tactical, calm, in control. Tactical advantage after setup is massive. Eliminated remote warrant access. Blocked reflex exploitation. Patched forensic tool vulnerabilities. Stopped passive surveillance. Closed voice command leaks. 5 settings, 5 minutes, complete protection. Here's Field Rule covering everything you learned. iPhone default settings designed for convenience and cooperation with Apple's ecosystem. Law enforcement knows this and exploits them systematically. Advanced data protection, notification controls, device naming, USB restrictions, Siri locks transform phone from open book to tactical asset. 5 settings move burden back to law enforcement. They need warrants. They need probable cause. Can't rely on consent or default configurations anymore. Before next traffic stop, need 4 counter moves locked into memory. Am I free to leave? Forces officers to commit to detention status legally. Not detained can leave. Detained must have reasonable suspicion. I'm invoking my right to remain silent. Terminates all questioning. Davis versus United States says state clearly. Say it. Mean it. I want to speak with an attorney. Ends interrogation completely. Works before arrest, during arrest. Deploy anytime questioning continues. I do not consent to searches. Clear, unambiguous, repeatable. They ask multiple times. You refuse multiple times. Practice saying counter moves out loud 3 times. Seriously, do it. Am I free to leave? I'm invoking my right to remain silent. I want to speak with an attorney. I do not consent to searches. Say them until natural. High-stress traffic stop. Default to what practiced. Tactical action step for today. Pull out phone right now. Implement 5-minute security setup. Don't wait until after pulled over. Do it now while thinking about it. Priority 1. Enable advanced data protection. Priority 2. Lock down notifications and lock screen access. Priority 3. Update iOS. Change device name. Verify USB restrictions. 5 minutes protects years of digital privacy. This is tactical education only, not legal advice. Consult qualified attorney in your state. If you found this valuable, hit like button. Subscribe for more tactical breakdowns. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next counter-move training. Share with anyone who needs these settings before their next encounter. I've got more traffic stop tactics that build on what you just learned. That video is on screen right now. Click it to keep your tactical education going. Tell me in comments, where are you watching from and what time is it there? Control the interaction, control the outcome. They have training. Now you do too.